All right. Live in 3 seconds. 5 viewers.
Okay, I got your audio, but no visual.
Okay. Well, as long as you got my audio, we're good. All right. So bear with us, folks. You're here with us at the third HexaDashers podcast with myself, Tao and Satoshi, and Blake Jamnis. Welcome to the show, Blake.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
So I'm really jealous of your situation there. You're down there in Mexico. You're having the time of your life. Why don't you tell us about what's been going on since we last talked?
Really just relaxing, enjoying Rosarito Beach. That's where I'm at. And just enjoying the beautiful sunsets out here. Keeping up with crypto, on my peripheral. But for the most part, just relaxing and swimming 3 times a day.
Awesome.
What about you, Tal?
Yeah, you look healthy. You look like you're put together down there. You're having a good time. It's always cathartic, to have that experience away from everything, and kind of reinvent yourself. It's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for me,
what about you? How's life for you?
For me, not much extra has been going on. Like I said, I bought the new car. I've been breaking in the engine. That's been great. I'm planning a trip back home to Nova Scotia to see my family soon. So that's going to be good. And it's always good to go and swim in the ocean. I guess that's what you're doing down there as well, right?
Yeah. Is that what you're going to do there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there's something about the ocean. I don't know if it's the salt water ratio or what all is going on, but it certainly does cleanse the soul.
Mm-hmm. And have you been following the crypto markets at all? The prices, things have been going up and down quite a lot right now. It's not really too much stability right now.
Yeah, I have been following, not crazily, which feels good actually. When you're like only checking the price 2 or 3 times a day, that actually feels pretty good. But yeah, it seems like to me, I kind of agree with the sentiment that I'm not expecting to blow past the all-time high right now. I wouldn't be shocked if we tinkered on our way down to a lower number. But I feel that way only to protect myself. I want to be hopeful, and I want to see the numbers blast off and 100K plus Bitcoin. But I'm also trying to protect my wealth.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's pretty good at this situation where we've just had a big run to take some profits, like get some money out of there, and but keep some just in case it goes up, because you don't want to be that guy who sells at the low and has to take off on you. So yeah, you should definitely take profits to be happy with what you have, but also keep some in the game.
Yeah, there could be no worse curse than to not have any dash, let's say, when Dash takes off. For me and you, 2 guys that have been there for a while, like that would just be too big of a curse to place on a man, and it can happen easily, as we know with the cryptos. Like you can get left out pretty quick.
Absolutely. I haven't gotten that situation yet. I've actually been pretty lucky myself when it comes to my investments. I haven't had that situation where I've sold everything and have the market take off on me. But I feel for those who have, man. That must really suck.
I've been someone who has been liquidated. So, that's one of the reasons I'm also loving Hex. I know we're going to get to that, but like, I love that Richard harps on that gambling aspect of margin trading and the sneakiness of the exchanges, some of those suspicious wicks that wipe people out. And, it's really no one's fault but our own, though, for betting more than we have. So my point going into this bull run is just to be focused on rational thinking. So
yeah, you mentioned Richard Hart. Like for any Dashers that are watching, Richard Hart is the founder and creator of Hex, and this is a blockchain CD where you can put your money into it, and you can put your money into it for a length of time. Like it's kind of like a certificate of deposit. So the more you put in, the better it pays you, and the longer you put it in for, the better it pays you. So that's the background on that. It's funny that you mentioned him because I just finished watching a podcast with him and about 6 other guys. They were talking about crypto, and he always invariably, when he makes his point, he has this gravitas behind him, and you just have to listen to what he's saying, you know. And I was listening to all these other guys. He made them sound more like children, and like
Dude,
you know, he just has that power to do that.
it's awesome, and it's like, I don't know if it's his power completely, like his rhetoric on point, but I think he also, and we also know, the product is badass.
Yeah.
You know, like, so when he's speaking about it, you know, he's speaking about something that's pretty damn great, you know, and it's like everyone in the room eventually has to kind of back down and bow down to it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if they did have some argument to present further to Richard, here's your time to do it, 5-on-1, you know, and it's like, when it comes down to it, you know, I don't know if you noticed, he asked BitBoy himself, well, dude, you know, you're critiquing it, but why don't you tell us how it's done? Like, you own some, how much have you made?
Yep.
To which BitBoy had to say, actually, I've made quite a bit of money on Hex. And, you know, quite a bit. So it's funny that people have this reluctance to surrender to the beauty of Hex.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it's set up like that. It's sort of similar to the Dash thing of like, why doesn't Dash get recognized for being the best payment system?
Yep.
You know, and sometimes it's politics, but I don't know. We need to figure these things out.
For those of you who might be just joining the chat or might be joining the show, I'm Christopher Carruthers, also known as Tao of Satoshi. With me is Blake Jamnis. We're actually a very big fans of Dash, which is a digital cash you can use. It works much better than Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash. It works through a 2-tier infrastructure that creates mega security for Dash. So we like that. But we also like the fact that Hex is good for putting money into and saving. So we think that they're very synergist in the fact that you can save with Hex, and you can also you can spend with Dash, right? And there's going to be interesting things coming up to save with Hex and to spend with Dash. So we're very excited about both. So I just wanted to talk to you about something before we talk to about what we were going to talk about in the show, because this just came up this morning. So there was a proposal that was for the Dash DAO. And it's talking about lowering the proposal fee to 1 Dash. It's actually been posted. So I just wanted to get, as somebody like you and I both have intimate familiarity with the Dash DAO and submitting proposals and having them get paid with no middlemen or anything like that. This is something that's very innovative, right? So what do you think about this latest proposal to lower the block, not the block, but the proposal fee from 5 Dash, which it is right now, down to 1 Dash?
I am a huge fan of this idea. I think, and everything the idea represents, because like, I don't know if this is still the argument against it, but I remember the naysayers in the day talking about wanting to keep out spam and, you know, sort of this exclusivity that they want to have in Dash. And this is at the very heart of it. Like, you know, the admittance fee to join the club, you know, to even put it out there. So that number should be extremely low, I think. 1 Dash is that works. It could be even lower as far as I'm concerned. And I say this because it's a mindset of a welcoming, and it's on our duty to filter out spam, and you know, there's ways we can do that. But yeah, so I like the idea, but I know that, you know, people probably have some pretty damn good reasons to not like that idea, the proposal. How do you feel about it?
Well, the initial comments that I've seen are the ones that are in favor are kind of like the same mindset as you and I, where we're thinking that we need to make it more dynamic, open to more people, open to more thoughts. It's become kind of it's become very contractive right now. Like there's not as many
Yeah.
proposal owners. It's the same people month in and month out. So we've got to try to be more inviting to more people. So in that sense, it's great. But I think so far what people say in response to it, like people that are against it, it's kind of more like, okay, we've always done it this way, and this way is good. You know, like people that are stuck in their ways. I think, I mean, I'm going to see more comments as it goes on, but right now people are like, oh, you have an agenda because you're trying to promote this and that. They're kind of not really arguing against it. They're arguing against something else, but it's coming into that. But like, I don't have an agenda. I actually posted that I think this is a great idea, and I just want my agenda is that I want to see Dash succeed, and I'm sure you're the same way. You know.
Well, yeah, to me, like, I guess I could break it down mathematically like this. Like, right now, I'd like to see about 50 more proposals on the Dash Central website. Like, if I'm scrolling through and I'm an investor and I'm seeing what kind of span Dash actually has, because that's where you're going to see Dash's power, you know, power of the purse, the treasury. So, like, when I'm looking and breaking that down, now I see like 7 or 8 proposals. You know, I see we got some action in Brazil, 2 Venezuelan small scale operations, and then you got Dash Core Group. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's great. But if I'm looking as an investor and I'm looking at this, I'm thinking this needs more tentacles. This needs more branches shooting off in many different regions and directions. And like, so let's say I want to see about 50 on there as opposed to the 8. Let's say that would make me feel good as an investor. The reality is it's going to be hard to find 50 people to put up 5 Dash for that proposal. I don't see people putting up, what would that be? You know, $500 or whatever, 600. So if it gets down to about $100, yeah, I see more people be willing to do that for sure. And I think that's what we need is more people willing to speak about Dash and be Dash ambassadors.
Yeah, if you're just joining us from the Hex community and you don't know what we're talking about, Dash has something what's called a decentralized autonomous organization. It was the first in crypto to do it. It was actually done before the DAO breakup in the Ethereum network. That's commonly known as the first one, but it hasn't. Actually, Dash predates that. So what you can do, even as a Hexakin, if you want to come to the Dash network and present something to the Dash network that you think will help, the Dash masternodes will go over your proposal and they'll vote on it. And if they actually approve it, you'll get paid and you'll be able to do your proposal. So there's no middlemen. It's all done on the blockchain. So it's very interesting that way. And I just think that's such a great resource for us, and I really hope that we can do something. You know, actually, I had a thought that should be dynamic. Like maybe it would be a lower proposal fee for a lower payment. Like if it's a high payment, it'd be a higher proposal fee, or something dynamic like that. What do you think about that?
I think that'd be awesome. And that's exactly the type of nuance and tinkering our treasury needs. Like, I would like to see so much stuff like that where, yeah, it's just a little bit more optimized. That would be really cool. Yeah, because if you're asking for like $50, which a lot of cool marketing stuff could be done for $50 or $100 ask.
Yep.
So, you know, if you were to put up $5 or $10 for that would be so much more appropriate.
I agree.
So
yep.
That's the way I see it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah. So that was just what I wanted to go over with you because I know that's something that hits home to you. Like you're definitely somebody who's used the proposal system a few times. So I thought that would be something you'd want to comment on. So why don't you take us into the next segment where we're going to be talking about Pulsechain? What's happening about Pulsechain right now, and what is Pulsechain for the Dashers that might not know what Pulsechain is?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, we got Pulsechain coming up, and for those who don't know, Pulsechain is a big airdrop that's happening. Pulsechain is a fork of Ethereum that's going to have extremely low fees on it, and it's got its whole game theory behind it. You can go to pulsechain.com. What's going to happen soon in the next few days is that it's going to be the biggest airdrop in crypto history. So I guess the information I would like people to know first off the bat about Pulsechain and what they should do is, if you have any ERC20 tokens that are on an exchange, move it to a MetaMask wallet if you want to get compensated for the Pulsechain airdrop. That's the first thing I want to say off the bat.
Yep, good advice.
You know what I mean? I think first and foremost, people listening, that's what they should know is, like, if you want to get some free money, which you probably do, if you have any ERC20 tokens on an exchange, move it to the MetaMask wallet. That way, when Pulsechain goes active, you can just go into the settings and activate Pulsechain network.
But there's two facets to it, isn't there? Like, there's the first one where it's just the sacrifice phase, where you can actually send ERC20s to an address, and that's going to give you a quantity of X. You know, like what it's saying to, basically, you're saying, I don't like the Ethereum fees. I don't like that they're so high. I don't like that they're kind of increasing the amount of money that it takes to use Hex for once. You know, and this is something that's going to be better on Pulsechain. So then the second level is the people that have done this sacrifice are going to be airdropped the tokens, right? The Pulsechain tokens.
Yes, that actually, now that you've said that, that's actually probably the real meat of the matter, and really what people should be, you know, not financial advice, but to me, sacrificing for Pulsechain, I think is going to be a big win. I'm really excited about the potential for how big Pulsechain will be, and just what it's going to do for Hex as well. Like, I was thinking last night, imagine how much more game theory and tinkering is going to be going down now that the fees will be so minimal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, stake ladders are going to become so much more intricate. That's what I was thinking about. Is that, you follow me on that?
Yeah, I want to mention, like, from a personal aspect, there's two ways that you can get involved in this. And for me, I'm really excited. I really want to get involved with this because I want to see what happens after Pulsechain drops, because you're going to have so many new tokens. This has never been done before. There's going to be like thousands of PRC20s that are going to be looking for price action. They're going to be looking for price discovery. And there's so many new things that are going to happen. And that's why the Pulsechain chat on Telegram is actually up over 20,000 people already. It actually has more than Hex. And so I want to mention two ways to get into it. The first way is the sacrifice. And the second way is to just hold your ERC20s in an address, and then those ERC20s will be copied onto Pulsechain. So you're going to have access to those ERC20s on Pulsechain as well. So not only are they forking Ethereum, but they're also forking all the ERC20s, all the system state that's going to be on Ethereum. And this is why it's very exciting, because it's never been done before. We get to see what's going to happen. And I myself want to be a part of it, and I'm sure you do as well, just to have a horse in the race.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, this is definitely one where I'm telling friends, I'm going out of my way to get the information to them. You know, it's kind of like with Dash, I had a VW bus to get the message across. Hex, I went as far as, you know, buying T-shirts around my friends, because, you know, at a certain point, you can only bring up something so many times before it's like, okay, dude, we heard about Pulsechain. But this is one where I'm like, seriously, guys, you know, throw a few $100 in, see what happens, you know. But there is no expectations. It is just a sacrifice. You'll just be sending your let's say, if you want to buy some Hex to sacrifice, which I think would be the smartest move for different reasons, you would just buy some Hex, and then when Richard posts the sacrifice address, which you'll see on his Twitter and in the Telegram, then you'll just be sending that Hex, sacrificing it to a unique address that gets posted. Could be a big win.
I've been watching so many things online and on YouTube about different strategies that people are having to approach this. Like, there's really no one way of doing it. I listen to different influencers, and they're all saying different things. So it's basically think about it yourself, think about what you think is going to happen, and then do it that way. Because ultimately, nobody knows what's going to happen. It's going to be a toss-up, you know?
I have no clue. I sit in bed some nights trying to think of like, you know, outcomes, and it just, I have no idea. You know, all I know is I want to sacrifice some hex and have a pretty good chunk of pulse, because I want to be on the ground floor. Because if nothing else, it's the biggest airdrop in crypto history. That alone is like, sign me up.
Yeah.
And two, I know we got the momentum of the hexagons behind it, and that force matching with the free money aspect, it's like, you know.
Yeah, and this is the reason why I think that the Hex community has a lot to offer Dash when it comes to that. If you look at Twitter, if you look at Hex mentions, and then you turn around and look at Dash mentions, they've got us beat like 100 to 1. Like they're so passionate about it, and this is something I want to see brought to Dash as well. You know, some people actually being positive and happy about Dash again, and willing to go out there and do that and promote it all the time.
Yes, you know, I've really started to wonder and think about why there is so much passion and dedication with Hex right now, and I want to talk about a little bit of the economic theory of it, and it's on sort of it's not too detailed, but you know, there's this economic law, the Cantillon effect. You heard of this one? It's like where the people closest to the money printer benefit the most. This is like a French-Irish 16th century economist comes up with the idea that you know, the people closest to the money printer have the biggest advantage. And I think that is why Hex has such a passionate community, is because if you think about it, taking that economic law, not only are we all standing right next to the money printer, we have a dial that can set our ROIs. And it sounds almost too good to be true, you know? But the point being that that the Cantillon effect is a very strong force in cryptos and in money, but I definitely think that in the beginning stages of cryptos, that economic law and that effect plays a very big role in how the cryptocurrency blossoms.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you're saying maybe if Dash could adopt some sort of incentive program similar to Hex, then they might have a lot more passionate people. It's an interesting thought. I haven't thought about it like that before.
I'd say that the interesting way that Dash has to get people next to the money printer is through our treasury. You know, that's where if Hex has free money or inflation or what, you know, this effect of where people are closer, in Dash, the people that are closest to the money printer are the people winning all the proposals. So it's kind of funny to me. It's like, you have a shot. How do you use this economic law? And to me, if Dash is going to win, they better start making sure that circle that gets money, that's closest to the money printer, is expanding, and expanding.
Yeah, like Dash has an opportunity to really create a complete ecosystem, right? Because not only does Dash have that opportunity to earn Dash through its systems, but it's also a very good way of spending Dash with low fees, you know, security, you know, instant transactions, instantly respendable transactions. So if you're coming from Hex and you're looking at Dash and you've used Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash before, if you download a Dash wallet and actually try it out and spend your Hex winnings in Dash, and there's going to be an awesome way to do that, and we're going to show you coming up through Dash Direct. If you're an American citizen, you can actually buy Dash and get discounts on like many different retailers in the United States. But that's a topic for another day. But that's a little tease for you. So, but Dash has the opportunity to have that whole total package, and that's where I think Dash really excels.
I agree, and that really should go into the whole. If we're talking economic laws, you do have to see the full cycle and the full circle, and at some point, it does become about spending and buying the purchases, no matter what part of how close you are or far away you are from the money printing machine. At some point, selling, buying, and those transaction fees are going to be such a big deal, and that's where Dash is such a win.
Oh, that's a good segue into our last topic of the day, which was the Dash marketing. So as you're aware, Joel Valenzuela, he had an interview with Dash's new head marketing director. Her name is Arden Goldstein. I don't know if people out there know who she is. If you're a Hexagon, you probably don't. But she's our new, in the Dash DAO, we have what's called the Dash Core Group. And this is the Dash biggest contractor in the Dash DAO. And they have a couple of different levels, couple of different departments. And one of the things that they look after is like marketing of the Dash wallet. And they actually had somebody who wasn't so good at it. He was a lawyer. He did well. He tried to do his best. But now we actually have a marketing professional, and her name is Arden Goldstein. So, and you saw this interview and you wanted to make some comments on it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did see it, and I salute Arden for stepping into what could be a really tough role. Marketing crypto is a really strange thing. She talked about it in the interview, which I think she did a great job in, and Joel asked some tough questions. And some of the things that I liked, I'm going to say she talks about wanting to include women in the crypto sphere and the blockchain industry. I think that's great. Cool. I would recommend hiring some people right away. Get people employed, get people use the capital you're getting, and make it happen. And I do think that's smart. I think that Dash does need to be thinking about untapped audiences, and that is definitely one. I salute her for stepping up into this position, because I know how tough it is. In that, what happens is you get this big chunk of money, you got all this expectations on you. What are you supposed to do? Now when the reality hits and you're looking around and going, you know what? There's really not that many people that are open to talking about crypto, or you really start to see how much, how limited all of this is, and how much narrative and hype there is in crypto. So that's probably what she's seeing right now. And what I would like to suggest to her is that we find, what Dash should do is find the best ambassadors, find the best people who enjoy speaking about it, who have a real passion for crypto. That Dash should put up some kind of bounty for presenters, educators on why Dash matters. And then we should select these people to do YouTube stuff, travel, go to events. This is the only information I have for her. Like, I watched the interview. She talked about data and reviewing, and how she has a lot to do, because Fernando didn't maybe have all the analytics. And I think that's great that she's taking it serious, and I can tell she's a serious person. And I just want to see, once she does have all those numbers put together, ambassadors and a team put together that's like deployable and hitting YouTube, hitting meetups. This is what I want to see. So I'll flip it to you though. What were your thoughts on it?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I know you're into face-to-face communication and having boots on the ground and type of thing. And I also think that Arden had one of her first things was to mention if anybody was from Chicago, because she wants to start people going on the ground in Chicago and actually doing what you're saying, like having meetups and boots on the ground, talking to people, going to various places, because she says Chicago is a big crypto town. I don't know that for a fact because I've never been there. Well, I've been there, but I haven't been there recently. And but I think that's a good idea, and I think that's something that we should get involved in too. I'm not sure how it scales, but I think if we try to target it at big cities, I think that would probably spread to other communities over time. So I think I really like that she's a breath of fresh air and she's a professional marketer. Like she was talking about guerrilla marketing campaigns, and like, and this is something that nobody's talked about before. And I don't want to always target Latin America. I want to target like the places where people have a lot of money, such as the United States, such as Canada, such as UK, first world countries. I don't want to just spend everything all in Latin America. So I want to kind of spread it around.
Yeah, sure. And yeah, that's cool that if she gets the boots on the ground thing. And I realize there's limitations to that as well. Like just we've said before how funny it is that our YouTube, our conversation right here, can reach 200 to 300 people. That's a big meetup. Yep. So my point about doing what I really believe Dash should do, I would be tempted to put up a proposal myself for this, which would be just if you're a Dash ambassador, record your elevator pitch. Record your Dash elevator pitch, and the top 3 videos, the top 3 presentations will be rewarded. You'll receive, so much Dash. And from this point, we could at least identify who's passionate, who is willing to speak, and if they end up just going on YouTube shows and going on starting Twitter accounts, whatever, if they don't want to actually travel. But I see hiring people that are the full package that could go to a Chicago meetup, and if you could go together in groups, believe me, as someone who's gone to several meetups, I know the power of having another ambassador with you. Game changer. When there's 2 or 3 of you talking about Dash, it's totally different than you getting gangbanged by Monero fanboys. So
right.
You know what I mean? So it's just totally different. So that's my only advice for the Dash DAO. My only critiques. I think everyone's doing great. I just would like to see who are the best, most passionate speakers on Dash. Let's locate those people.
And if you're a Hexagon, you know that Richard Hart has always been pounding this message: outboard messaging, outbound messaging, outbound messaging. Keep getting into people's faces, keep talking about it. And you and Hex, you do that very well. And I want to give you credit for that. You're out there doing everything. It gets to the point where some people think these are bots until they see them all at the Vegas meetup and they realize, hey, these people are real people and they're just passionate about Hex. And that's what we need to do in Dash. We need to keep promoting.
Dude, two really awesome things that have sprung up. 3 really that I now that I'm thinking of come to mind. First off, they had Hex had the beautiful vehicles displaying Hex stuff in New York City. That was the first thing I'd seen, were these big Humvee like trucks. They're all like, I don't know, just luxurious vehicles, broadcasting Hex returns. That was in New York City. Then there was a billboard put up in Virginia. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That was awesome. That was a beautiful billboard. And I'm like, okay, let's put one of those up in every city. And I remember when Dash used to talk about this as well. And then the third thing is, this is the biggest one. Hex just got an article in the biggest newspaper in the UK. Wow. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that one.
Yep, I saw Richard post it last night before bed, and I went, damn it, here he goes again, like up in the ante. It's in the UK's #1 paper.
Wow. I wonder if they're going to see some price action based on that. We'll see.
Yeah.
The thing I like about Hex though is it's very easy to explain to people, isn't it? You know, because if they're familiar with the blockchain CD, I mean, if they're familiar with a regular CD, then it's just the same thing on a blockchain. You know, like you put money in, if you put for a length of time, you get paid at the end. You know, if you break in advance, you get a penalty. It's the exact same thing. You know, so it's so easy to explain.
It's funny. Yeah, it is. It's so easy, and I like things that are easy to explain because it means there's a simplicity to them, which is usually a truth. You know, the truth is simple often. You know, so I don't know. On the same hand, you could break down Hex and say that it's very complex and that there's a lot of game theory. But what I like about it is behind it all is essentially the truth engine, as they say, you know, which is honor your word, honor your commitment of time, and you'll reap the rewards. So it's funny, and like going back, you know, I brought up that French-Irish economist, the Kantian guy. I was going through people who he was influenced by, and you know, you really see that all these economists and monetary thinkers, it's all philosophical. You know, all these guys are just, it's gonna come back to like certain principles, and a lot of it is just philosophy. And behind Hex, like where I'm going with this is the truth engine. You know, you got to honor your word, and if you honor your word and you're patient, you get rewarded more. So very cool setup.
Cool. So I guess that's it for what we had to talk about for today, unless you had anything else to add.
I'm good, man. It's a good combo.
Yeah. So once again, thanks for watching, guys. If you need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on Twitter at Tao and Satoshi. We'd love for you to subscribe to the channel. Click the like if you liked it. And we'll see you next week or whenever we do our next show. We're just starting to get into this. I apologize if there's a bit of an echo when I speak, but Blake assured me that there's going to be upgraded equipment coming in the future.
Yeah, as soon as I'm out of Mexico, I'll be upgrading, but I'm just enjoying the beach life now.
And as well you should, man. I'm really jealous of you.
I'll see you guys.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. All right. And that was good.
Yeah, we off?
Yeah, we're off now.
Okay.